Alright, so false alarm. Apparently I didn't even have to stop recording because the game did not happen. So here we go. Part 3, I guess. So thankfully we start off with another set. White Sox versus Guardians, Game 3. Should be a fun one. It also means it shouldn't be too long until we get done with this. Probably like an hour and a half. Maybe even, if not even that, like honestly, I got done with the wild card 3 games in like 30 minutes, and it's, I mean, the longer games. I mean, there's less games to be played, so this shouldn't be too long. I'm not gonna lie. All right, so yeah, here we go. White Sox versus Guardians, Game 3, and wow, Hudson with a 3-run homer. That's huge. What a start. And Bowman gonna drive in a run with a double. 2 outs, runner on third. And a single from Alvarez to drive into. And a 2-run homer from Alvarez. So yeah, Alvarez is having himself a game right now. Wilson will drive in a run with a single and 0 outs, runner on second. That's dangerous. That is dangerous. And Colton, fielded by the third baseman, he'll drive in a run with that. Runner on third with 2 outs. And a single from Villalobos, I don't know how to say that, to drive it a run. And a single from Harris to drive in a run. 1 out, runner on second. Can they make the comeback? And a walk to drive in a run. So bases loaded with 1 out. This is about as best of an opportunity as you can get. And an error to drive in a run. So 2 outs, bases loaded. And it was 8-0. It was 8-0. It was 8-0. Arabal with a double to drive in 3. And they're going to, wow, Guardians are going to lose this game. That is just, wow. Wow. White Sox move on. Harper with 4 at-bats, 2 runs, 1 hit, 1 walk, and a strikeout. Jesus, that is just insane. I don't know how they came back. That's just wow. 8-0, man. 8-1 going into the 9th, and they, jeez. 9:30 p.m. 3-6. I mean, that's the last date. It better happen tomorrow, bro. That's all I gotta say. Better fucking happen. All right, Blue Jays versus Angels, Game 3. Finally get this guy back. And a home run from Mason II, his second of the playoff. I didn't actually check who the better pitcher was this game. And it was Jackson. He was first on an error by Garvin to drive in a run, and a runner on second with 0 outs. Good opportunities for the Angels. Fuck. Well, they didn't score. All right, and a 2-run homer from Roth. His second of the playoff. That will win the Angels the series. Mason II, 4 at-bats, 1 run, 2 hits, 1 RBI, 1 home run. Jones Jr., 4 at-bats, 1 hit, 1 walk, 1 strikeout. Kobashi, 5 at-bats, 2 hits. All right, Mets versus Cubs, Game 3. So all the series over here are tied. So these are the good ones. Once again, didn't check who the better pitcher was. Let me just see. Okay, once again, the Cubs just no diff pitching wise. All right, so home run from Egerin to take the lead here, second of the playoff. And Anthony with a double to drive and run. 0 outs, runner on third. And a walk to drive in a run. So 0 outs, bases loaded. And a single to drive in 2 runs. 0 outs, runner on second. And a double to drive in 2 runs. 2 outs, runner on third. And a single to drive in a run from Anthony. Perez, Trent, Bowman. All right. So runner on second with 1 out. And a single from Page to drive in a run. Why does both teams have a Luis Perez? I just realized that. Both teams have a Luis Perez. What the fuck? Jesus. And they're both 26. Wait. Yeah, am I geeked? Why is this guy's weight different? Cubs signed? Yeah, like, what are the odds of this? I don't even know anymore, man. They were both auto-generated. They just had the same name. That is interesting. Okay, anyways, the Mets take a 8-1 win there. Anthony, 5 at-bats, 1 run, 2 hits, 2 RBIs, 1 strikeout. Yeah, damn bullpen, especially close that doesn't choke in extras. Oh, man. All right, Pirates versus Diamondbacks, Game 3. And the Pirates, they have the better pitcher here. Let's see if they can win it. And a home run from Miller, his second of the playoff. And a 2-run homer from Saloin. Make it 3-0. And then we got Salonen reaching second on an error to drive in a run. And we got a double to drive in 2 from Cree. Runner on second with 1 out. I'm getting spam pinged by somebody. That's going to have to wait. Lopez reaches second on an error by Williams to drive in a run. So runner on second with 1 out. And then a double from Miller to drive in 2. So runner on third with 1 out. And that's the end of the game. They just went crazy in that inning. The Pirates, they're dominating. They are in a situation where if they have to, they'll use Carr in a game 5. Although the ideal situation would be them winning game 4. 5 at-bats, 1 run, 2 hits, 3 RBIs, 1 home run, 1 strikeout from Miller. They're in a good position. Okay, what's the group chat? Are we playing? If you guys get on a call, we can get a force win because we have the priority. Ooh. I don't want a force one though. Most N-words dropped in history. Mets versus Cubs game 3 or game 4. Didn't really check to see who the pitchers were in this game. Solid. So yeah, I'd say once again, I think the Mets in this game finally have a better pitcher. I think they're gonna win this game. Anthony with his first home run somehow of the playoff. I'm surprised it's only his first. But I guess the pitching just been that good. I guess I don't know. At least only good against Marcelo Anthony. Diaforano, I forgot this guy was still relevant. He used to be so goated for the Cubs. Anyways, he drives in a run with that single. And a single from Corando to drive in a run. And we got a walk. Corando will walk to drive it around, and we got bases loaded with 2 outs. Fuck. And we got Perez with a 2-run homer. And that's the game. Cubs will win 5-1 and take it to a game 5. So we will see Pozo pitch again. And also, we see Marcell Anthony go down with injury. So 2 at-bats, 1 run, 2 hits, 1 RBI, 1 home run for Marcell Anthony, but he gets injured. And, well, that's a big injury. Marcell Anthony 2 for 2. Nigga said, actually, Slinky, you can go. What the fuck? All right, Pirates versus Diamondbacks. Pirates, I think they're going to win this game in 4, or this series in 4. Anyways, home run for Mancilla. He gets his third of the playoff. He says, I'm not letting that happen. And, well, a double from Lopez to drive in 2. So runner on third with 2 outs. And a single from Young to drive in a run. And a single from Lopez to drive in a run. 0 outs, runner on second. And a 2-run home run from Gladney, his second of the playoff. Home run from Palacios. A double from Martinez to drive in a run. 0 outs, runner on third. This is low-key brutal for the Pirates. How did they get out of this? It was 0 outs, runner on second and third, and they just won the series. Wow, the Diamondbacks. Dude, the Pirates closer locked the fuck in, or they just pulled him, and they had another guy lock in. No, the closer low-key locked in. He low-key locked in, bro. Holy shit. I'm surprised they got out of that. I am surprised they got out of that. The Pirates will move on. They'll make another NLCS. Their first in a long time. Miller, 4 at-bats, 1 hit, 1 walk, 1 strikeout. Not really. 4 runs isn't bad if you're pitching 8 innings, honestly. 2 runs is pretty good. Mets, game 5. No Marcell Anthony. That's going to hurt him. They're going to have Adam Thomas in instead, and well, this guy is hasn't really played. I mean, I'm surprised they haven't really played Adam Thomas at catcher. So we're going to see how good he does. I don't think he'll do that good. But the Mets do, I would say they have the pitching dits, but Galloway's pitching for the Cubs. So this is going to be a hell of a game. Single from Trent to drive in a run. So runner on second with 1 out. And a home run from Guerrero, his 3rd home run of the playoff. And a single from Guevara to drive in a run. Runner on third with 2 outs. And the Cubs are going to move on. All right, we got some fun series here. We got Pittsburgh versus Chicago, and then Chicago versus Los Angeles. All right, so we got Angels versus White Sox. I mean, Asriel is just crazy pitch diff here. All right, so Wilson will reach second on an error, and runner on third with 0 outs. And a 3-run home run from Colton. And we got a sacrifice fly by Cole to drive in a run. And we got a 3-run home run from Zimmerman. All right, single from Colton to drive in a run. And a single from Valebios to drive in a run. A double from Velasquez to drive in a run. So 2 outs, runner on third. And then that's it. White Sox win 11-0. This dude Azrael has pitched every inning he's played in. Like, what the fuck is going on, bro? What is happening, dude? Cam Jones Jr., 4 at bats, 1 hit, 1 strikeout. Kobashi, 4 at bats, 1 hit, 3 strikeouts. White Sox here. Harper, 5 at bats, 1 run, 4 hits, 1 walk. And then at St. Alexander, 9 innings pitched, 8 hits, 2 walks, 16 strikeouts on 158 pitches. I mean, another complete game and a shutout. Complete game shutout. I mean, Jesus. All right, Cubs versus Pirates. Game 1. All right, here we go. Carr is the better pitcher here. So 2-run home run from Page, his second of the playoff. And we got a home run from Palacios, his second of the playoff. Sacrifice fly by Page to drive in a run. And a single by Page to drive in a run. All right, double from Palacios to drive in 3 runs. A single by Perez to drive in 2 runs. Fuck me. And that's game. Damn. Cubs will take game 1. They'll take the game Jalen Carr pitches. That's huge if you're the Cubs. James Miller, 6 at-bats, 1 run, 4 hits. And then Carr, 7 innings pitched, 9 hits, 4 runs, 4 earned runs, 1 walk, 9 strikeouts, 1 home run on 112 pitches. CFB, not right now. Maybe in 6 or 7 years. All right. All right, Angels versus White Sox. Game 2. All right, home run from Gaddis. Home run from Zimmerman, his second of the playoff. And a home run from Jones Jr., his 4th of the playoff. Home run from Kobashi, his 3rd of the playoff. Oh, 2-run homer from Villalobos. By the way, who was the better pitcher in this game? Burston was solid, and then Perez. Honestly, Burston's the better pitcher. All right, single from Harper to drive in a run, and that's actually going to win them the game. So they're going to go up 2-0 in this series. Jones Jr., 4 at-bats, 1 run, 1 hit, 1 RBI, 1 home run, 1 strikeout. Kobashi, 3 at-bats, 1 run, 1 hit, 1 RBI, 1 home run, 1 strikeout. And then Harper, 4 at-bats, 1 hit, 1 RBI, 1 walk. All right, next up, Cubs versus Pirates, game 2. So we got, once again, Magruder kind of pitched diff. So Cubs probably will take this game. Like I said, the Pirates really need that game 1 win. Griffin with a single to drive in 2, so 0 outs, runner on second. A double to drive in 2, 1 out, runner on third. And a double to drive in 2, 1 out, runner on second. And a 2-run homer from Griffin. And a single to drive in a run from Rakan. And we got a single to drive in a run from Perez. And we got a 3-run homer from Page. Dude, the Cubs are killing them in 2 innings. Jesus. And a home run from Greary. What is happening? That's his 4th. By the way, that was Page's 3rd home run. Anyway, sacrifice 5 for Salonen to drive in a run. Bases loaded with 3 outs. Oh, yeah, they got a double play. All right, single from Peterson to drive in a run. 1 out, runner on second. And that's game. Cubs win 15-1. I thought that was going to keep going, dude. That was insane. Freaking overkill. Miller, 3 at-bats, 1 run, 3 hits. So Miller with a 3-for-3 game, but didn't really account for shit. Dude, 14 runs. My God. He got killed, bro. All right, James Miller went 3-for-3. All right, now we got White Sox versus the Angels, game 3. All right, so we got Kyle Harvey, solid pitcher. Then we got, then we got Lofton, kind of a terrible pitcher. All right, so honestly, the Angels might actually win this game. All right, Roth with a 2-run single. And then a grand slam from Gaddis. So, yeah, the Angels are already in a really good position to make it 2-1. That's his 2nd home run of the playoffs. And a single from Harris to drive in a run. Single from Harper to drive in 2 runs. And a home run from Kobashi, his 4th of the playoff. And a 3-run homer from Ganecko. And we got a double from Santaloria to drive in 2 runs. A runner on second with 1 out. And now we got a single from Kobashi to drive in 2 runs. And we got, all right, Santalaria with a sacrifice fly to drive in a run. So runner on third with 1 out. Fucking hand hurts. All right, single from Harris to drive in a run. And that's game. 15-4 Angels win. That's insane. And they're going to make it 2-1. All right, Harper, 4 bats, 1 run, 2 hits, 2 RBIs. And then we had Jones Jr., 5 bats, 1 run, 2 hits, 1 walk. And then Kobashi, 5 bats, 1 run, 3 hits, 3 RBIs, 1 home run. Lofton pitched that long with 14 runs. Like, are we serious? Are we serious? All right, Pirates versus Cubs, game 4. No, this is game 3. And the Pirates, they actually have a pitching advantage this game. Can they use it to their advantage? All right, a single from Quisp to drive in a run. And a 2-run home run from Salonen. And we got a home run from Quisp. Home run from Page, his 4th of the playoff. Home run from Palacios, his 3rd of the playoff. Single from Griffin to drive in a run. Bases loaded, 0 outs in the bottom of the 9th. Single to drive in 2 runs. Runner on second with 0 outs. Double to drive in a run. Runner on third with 1 out. And they're going to lose the game. Jesus fucking Christ, what did I just watch? All right, that's awesome. Raccoon reached second on an error by Young to drive in 2 fucking runs. That's just, wow, that was just, honestly, that was the most Pirates way to lose the game. Honestly, that's just, wow, that's insane. Miller, 4 at-bats, 1 run, 1 hit, 1 stolen base. That's just crazy. They lost that game like that, bro. All right, White Sox versus Angels, game 4. All right, so we had Nicholson with a double to drive in a run, runner on third with 1 out. 3-run homer from Harper. That's actually his first home run of the playoffs somehow. All right, Jackson with a single to drive in a run, and bases loaded with 2 outs. Bottom of the 9th, can they get it done? Wow. White Sox hold strong to take a 3-1 lead and give Asriel a second game pitching in this series, where he has not given up any runs. Well, actually, I think he gave up 1 run, where he's given up 1 run in 18 innings pitched. This is scary if you're like, by the way, if you want to see who had the advantage. Okay, the White Sox had a big advantage in this game pitching was 5 at-bats, 1 run, 2 hits, 3 RBIs, 1 home run from Harper, 5 at-bats, 1 hit from Jones Jr., 4 at-bats, 1 run, 1 hit, 1 walk from Kobashi. All right, Pirates versus Cubs, game 5 or game 4. Honestly, I don't really see how the Cubs lose. Respectfully, there's just no way. There's no way they lose this. The Cubs, honestly, the Pirates need to take that game, that last game. Palacios with a single to drive in a run. Griffin with a single to drive in a run. Diafario with a sacrifice fly to drive in a run. Griffin with a home run, his second of the playoff. Palacios will walk to drive and run, and bases loaded with 1 out. And they don't do anything with it. Cubs will move on. Miller, 3 at-bats, 1 run, 2 hits, 1 walk. All right, Angels versus White Sox, game 5. And, well, I mean, it's a big pitching diff. But just looking at how he's pitched this like playoff, it's insane. Like 18 innings, he's given up 1 run, and he has 36 strikeouts. 18 strikeouts per 9, which is just crazy. Anyways. Oh, Ganeko got hurt. That's not good. All right, Kobashi with a single to drive in a run. Callis with a single to drive in 2 runs. Runner on second with 1 out. Yeah, Israel's the one getting belted. Colson with a single to drive in a run. Runner on second with 1 out. Harris with a single to drive in a run. Gaddis with a double to drive in a run. Runner on second with 1 out. And Wilson with a grand slam. Wow. Well, they just won the game. Villalobos with a single to drive in a run. 0 outs, runner on second. Single from Arable to drive in a run. 1 out, runner on second. Cole with a single to drive in a run. 1 out, runner on second. Colton with a double to drive in a run. Santalario with a single to drive in 2 runs. And that's game. White Sox will move on. And we have Chicago versus Chicago. Cam Jones Jr. 3 at bats, 1 run, 2 hits. Kobashi, 5 at bats, 1 run, 1 hit, 1 RBI, 1 strikeout. Jones Jr. is injured though. And Harper, 3 at bats, 1 run, 1 hit, 2 walks. And they actually took out Azriel really early in this game. He only pitched 3 innings, and he gave up 7 hits, 4 runs, 4 earned runs, 1 walk, 8 strikeouts, 73 pitches. Pretty bad game from Azriel standards. I wouldn't troll him. All right, there we go. Okay, now in the next series, Cubs versus White Sox game 1. They're actually heavily favored in this series. So the Cubs do have a pitching advantage in this game. The Cubs low-key have an overall better pitching advantage in this series. They could win it. Bavaria with a home run. Grand slam from Arable in the bottom of the 9th. Jesus Christ. That's insane. And they're going to win game 1. Harper, 4 at-bats, no hits, 2 strikeouts. Cubs versus White Sox game 2. Okay, so we got Lofton, who is a terrible pitcher. Once again, the Cubs do have the pitching advantage. All right, Racone with a single to drive in 2 runs. Runner on third with 2 outs. And Perez with a double to drive in a run. Runner on third with 2 outs. And Page with a 3-run homer. His 5th home run of the playoff. And we got a single from Corando to drive in a run. Coronado. And we got single from Harris to drive in a run. And we got a triple from Velasquez to drive in 2 runs. Runner on third with 2 outs. And we got Guerrero reaching first on error by Cole to drive in a run. Bases loaded, 2 outs. And that's game. So make it 1-1. Harper, 5 at-bats, no hits. He hasn't gotten a hit in this series yet. All right, so we got White Sox versus Cubs game 2. Or game 3. And the Cubs, once again, pitching advantage. And we got a home run from Wilson, a 2nd of the playoff. And we got a home run from Page, a 6th of the playoff. And we got Coronado reaching first on error by Harris to drive in a run. And we got a runner on second with 0 outs. And the Cubs will win 2-1, take a 2-1 lead in the series. Harper, 3 at-bats, 1 hit, 1 walk, 1 strikeout. White Sox versus Cubs, Game 4. And Azriel, just big pitching diff here. They are without Mike Wilson, though. Anyways, home run from Velasquez. And we got Villalobos with a single to drive in 2 runs. And we got Harris with a home run with a 3-run homer. And we got Harper with a single to drive in a run. Runner on second with 0 outs. And we got a single from Harris to drive in a run. Runner on second with 0 outs. And we got a single from Lewis Jr. to drive in a run. Runner on second with 0 outs. And that's game. Harper, 5 at-bats, 1 run, 2 hits, 1 RBI. And then we got Azriel, 9 innings pitched, 3 hits, 0 runs, 0 earned runs, 1 walk, 18 strikeouts, and on 128 pitches. Azriel with a complete game shutout. In the World Series. All right, Cubs versus White Sox, Game 5. Anyways, Magruder, big pitch diff. And Lewis Jr. with a single to drive in 2 runs. And that's game. The White Sox will take Game 5, and now in a pretty good chance to win. So Harper, 3 at-bats, 1 run, 1 hit, 1 walk. All right, White Sox versus Cubs, Game 6. Once again, Cubs, they have the pitching. They need to get their offense going if they want to win this series here, because this is just the best pitching matchup they could have gotten. Villalobos, he reaches second on error by Coronado, and that will drive in a run. 0 outs, runner on second. And a walk here. Harper will get on base, and that will drive in a run, and 2 outs, bases loaded. And Diafrano with a single to drive in a run. 1 out, runner on second. And we got a double from Griffin to drive in a run. 1 out, runner on third. And a double from Peterson to drive in 2 runs. So runner on third with 2 outs. And we got a single from Harris to drive in a run. And we got a home run from Page, his 7th of the playoff. And we got a home run from Griffin, his 3rd of the playoff. And we got a single from Villalobos to drive in a run. So 2 outs. And the Cubs will bring it to a Game 7. Harper, 4 at-bats, 2 runs, 3 hits, 1 RBI, 1 walk. So we got Cubs versus White Sox game 7, and once again Galloway pitching advantage, but they are at home with a sub-3 ERA pitcher. I don't know. I kind of like the White Sox chances here in game 7. Fuck. In game 7. And Mike Wilson's back for this game. So that's a huge, huge addition back is Mike Wilson. Anyways, Coronado, top of the 9th. What just happened? Oh my god, bro. Yo. The White Sox get it done. I thought the Cubs were about to win. But no, Wes Cole is the hero in Chicago. South Chicago, man. Wow. Wow. Fucking insane. Now, what a series. Harper, 3 at-bats, 1 hit, 1 walk. What a series. This dude, Wonder Boy, is going to have his own 6-star tier. Or 7-star tier. Yeah, 7-star. What a series, man. Yeah, Asriel's going to win MVP. He's going to win Pitcher of the Year. This guy's going to win Relief Pitcher of the Year. Wow. 22 wins for a rookie is pretty insane. Not going to lie. Yeah, Asriel just had the season of a lifetime. And he doesn't even get MVP. And wow. That's insane that he didn't get it. Dude, I'm editing that, bro. Asriel had a complete game shutout in the playoffs. In the fucking World Series. He had a complete game shutout. He's 100% the finals MVP, bro. Complete game shutout, 18 strikeout in the World Series. That's literally pitcher of the year, bro. I mean, that's literally pitcher of the fucking that's finals MVP, bro. All right, anyways. Yeah, what a season. Jeez, what a season, bro. What a season. Hmm. Yeah, I was doing this at 2 in the morning. Jesus. I'm kind of surprised we got it done by 11 p.m. Not bad. Not bad. Grab a girl and then grab a couple more. Dude, Harper dominated. Runs. All right, hits his Maury and then doubles his Miller. Triples his Talker. wins Azriel, ERA's Azriel, strikeouts Azriel. Okay. So yeah, pretty much everyone we knew. All right, so Azriel, Finals MVP, MVP, and Pitcher of the Year. That might be the single greatest season ever by a pitcher. Just by literally any player. That might be the greatest season from any player. He won Finals MVP, MVP, and Pitcher of the Year. He won 3 different awards. That's insane. Rookie of the Year is Nate Heed. Rookie of the Year and all rookie. All right, Anthony with all offensive, Miller with all offensive. I don't even know if James Miller's ever been an all offensive player. Oh yes, surprisingly. Jones Jr. all offensive. We got Samarara all offensive. We got Talker all offensive. We got Otani all offensive. We got McFadden all offensive. We got Semperin all offensive. We got Harper all offensive. All right. So now let me go to launch list. Let me see if anyone retired here. So Shane Kaiser. I mean, this guy is just not gonna retire here. Click to unretire jersey. DeMonte Cox is definitely gonna retire. Oh, this whole time he had AAA player role. Wait, did he have that his whole career? Yo, if he had that his whole career, that's on me, bro. He had that his whole career. And he had fucking AAA player role his whole career. Bro's not even getting the MLB pings. Jesus. What a career by DeMonte Cox though. What a career, man. What a fucking beast player. Beast of a player right there. Oh, we have quite a bit of retirees here with Hall of Fame votes. Interesting. See who got in, who didn't. Indiana Young did not get in, so we'll have to fix that before next season. Yeah, 42. He led in runs from replacement level. Wow. At 42, he led in that stat. Jesus. And he led at 40. That's the only time he led in any advanced stats in the regular season. And in the playoffs, he led in RBAT at 40. And he led in R replacement at 26. Not gonna lie, he didn't really have many playoff appearances. Only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 6, 7. Yeah. But he was a beast, man. Rookie of the Year, All Rookie Team, All Star MVP, 18-time All Star, 2x League home run leader, 12x All Offensive Team. He even got it Did he get it? No, he didn't get it this season, but he got it last season, which is insane. He got it at age 41. Yeah, that's pretty good. Age 42 actually. Yeah, he got it at age 42. Damn. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, this fall off this year was a lot harder, but it's probably because of injuries. Because the man's getting old. Not gonna lie, this guy does not deserve Hall of Fame at all. So I hope we don't vote him into Hall of Fame. I don't know. He has 3 rings. I mean, honestly, really good player for the Cubs. And by the way, that was his last run. He almost won another. Arguably, they should have. They fucking choked. Hmm. Actually, this might be a bad stat then, because he led this and he had negative 13.8 runs above replacement. All right, it's time for the goat rankings. So number one, obviously Shane Kaiser. Number three is Masala. Number four now is Wonder Boy. By the way, Marcelo Anthony's up here at 16th at 33 years old. And then Azriel's 32 and only 17. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, Azriel could go pretty high. It's gonna take a minute to get there, but he could go pretty high up. So could Marcelo. I think they'll both be top 10 players. They're up here before 35. Cemeteries Azriel, 18 Lance Slade. '19 is Joe Johns. 20 is John. What does he mean by top 2 records for pitching, bro? Who? What do you mean by top 2 records for pitching? I love how you forgot Cy Young was a real person. I don't think he's even close at the moment. Like he just needs so many more seasons under his belt, I feel like. Let me see though. Let's go over 1,000 here. He has the best ERA. For sure. Definitely doesn't have the wins record. The person with the wins record right now is Lamar Mims. Todd is getting close, but he's not going to get it. He's not going to get it. I mean, all time in the. He's only thing he's top 10 in is WAR. Food poisoning has the most saves. Yeah, dude, food poisoning is forever going to be the GOAT. He also is third in blown saves. Yeah, Todd has the most innings pitched. He's up there. Todd's third in strikeouts. I think he definitely led in WAR again. Well, he led in a lot of things, so he's definitely up there. Okay, Azrael's the only one that's gonna get some extra ups. Honestly, if he does them now, I mean, he's fine. Worst finisher in the league. Anyways, end the video there. Pretty good part. See y'all next time.